Okay, this video is going to look at rounding numbers to the necessary sig figs. So when we're talking about that, when you are doing some sort of math, you're going to do all of that math and then you're going to have to put your answer in the correct number of significant figures. Now we're going to talk in another video about how we do that, but I want us to talk about rounding because rounding with sig figs can be a little bit different. So when we round, we start on the left side, meaning the left side of the number, and then begin counting when we get to the first non-zero number. This is kind of like the Pacific side when our decimal is present. It's that same idea, except this time we're going to count the sig figs to see what we need to round. We then have to look at the digit after our last significant digit. So that next digit is what determines our rounding. Okay. If the digit is 0 to 4, we leave it the same. And if that digit is 5 to 9, we round up. So let's take some examples here. So say I do my math, I get this as my answer. I want to round it to 1 sig fig. So I'm going to start on my left side. First non-zero number is that 2. I need to look at the next number. So I'm going to say, what does that 9 do to that 2? Well, that 9 makes it round up, so that makes it a 3. Now, a lot of people tend to just leave that as their answer. 3 and 29.4 are two very different things. If somebody owed me $29.40 and they only gave me $3, I'm not going to be very happy. So we need to put a place-holding 0 right here to make sure that this stays in that same place value. Now, if somebody owed me $29.40 and gave me $30, I would be pretty happy. So we want to make sure that when we round, we follow our stay the same or round up here. That 9 made that 2 a 3, but we also want to make sure that we're staying in the right place value. Okay, so let's check out number 2 here. I want to round this to 2 sig figs. So again, I'm going to start on the left until I come to my first non-zero number, which is that 4. So 1, 2. Then what does that 9 do to that 3? Well, remember that 9 makes us round up. 4, that 3 becomes a 4. And I don't put anything else. So I only need 2 significant figures. 1, 2. Even though these were here, we are having to round to get to our 2 sig figs. So be careful for that. Now, what if you end up getting what seems to be a perfect number? You've done all your calculations and you get an 8. But you have 3 sig figs with your measurements. You still have to make your answer have those 3 sig figs. Say we've multiplied the volume of a box and you got exactly 8. But I need those 3 sig figs because it's important. It tells the reader or whoever is working with your data how exact, how precise that information is. So I have my 8. I'm going to put a decimal and put 2 more zeros. So now I have 1, 2, 3 sig figs. Now when I first went, I only had 1, but I needed 2 more to get 3. So that's why I need that 0.00. This decimal and 2 zeros makes them significant. Now, you cannot just put 800. 800 is very different than 8. So similar to the problem we had up here, be careful and make sure that you're not making this 800, that you're making this 8.00. Example 4 is very similar to example 3. So I need this to be 4 sig figs. Right now it's 2. So I'm going to go and add, 2 zeros right here. Okay. So we sometimes have to take things away, like example 1 and 2, and sometimes we have to add things like example 3 and 4. Okay, let's look at these. So all of these at the bottom we're rounding to 3 sig figs. So I end up with 2 grams. That's only 1 sig fig. This is similar to example number 3 up here, and I need 3 sig figs. So I'm going to say 2.00 grams. Now here I have units. If we have units, you need to keep the unit with the number. The unit gives that number a purpose. Now I need to round this to 3 sig figs. So I know that this has more than 3 sig figs right now. So I need to use my process of starting on the left, coming to my first non-zero number, 1, 2, 3. What does that 9 do to that 3? Becomes a 4. Awesome. This is what a lot of people will write down. Notice that this 1 is in the thousands place. This 1's in the hundreds place. So we want to make sure that that 1 is still in that thousand. So I need to put a 0. Now no decimal, because that would make that 0 significant, and we do not want it to be significant. Now let's look at this last one. So we got several numbers here, so we're going to use our process to see which ones are significant. I'm going to start on my left. Nope, nope, yes. 1, 2, 3. It stays the same. Give these 3 a try. So pause the video, give those 3 a try, and then come back and check yourself. And there are your answers. So again, make sure here we added a 0. Here we had to round, and we do not put a decimal there. And then this one, much like this one, stayed the same. Let me know if you have any questions.